Swadika. My name is Vera Rungchugul, and today I'll be bringing you to Wat Phra Thamakai in Pathum Thani, Thailand. You will hear the story that will enable you to get to the heart and soul of those who first established the temple. It is with gratitude and respect to these individuals that we wish to pass on this knowledge to younger generations. To visit Wat Phra Thamakai is not only to visit the Maha Thamakai Jedi or the Maha Vihan, but also to get to know the entire temple. That is why today I'll be starting here at the temple's gate. Did you know that when the temple was established in 1970, it was first called Soon Puttachak Bativat Tham, the place where young men and young women came here to study the Buddha's Dharma. At that time, if you were a woman coming to Wat Phra Thamakai, you would not be allowed to stay in the temple past 6 o'clock. Kun Yai would be walking around, making sure that every woman left the temple by that time. No one really understood the reason, but they never questioned or protested, or even waited to be told to leave. This was the virtue of people in the past. Let me take you back to the time before the Soon Puttachak Bativat Tham was created. If you have the time, I will tell you the story of this plot of land and of how Wat Phra Thamakai came to be. Originally, this plot of land was a barren rice paddy field with red soil so acidic that no trees were able to grow here. And also, it was very, very hot. When everyone first followed Kun Yai and the abbot Longpa Thamachayo here, no one ever imagined what this land would ultimately become. Not even my aunt, who came here after the Dawading building was created. The area where Wat Phra Thamakai is located today used to be an unfertilized, dry paddy field that was extremely barren and extremely dry. It needed water. But because the abbot and the vice abbot were students of Kasetsat University, they had the background knowledge necessary in the field of agriculture to make the presence of water in this dry and barren land possible. So they managed to get dredge boats called Rua Nak to start the process of digging the soil and removing the dirt to make the canal. So as a result of that process, the temple's internal area now has water, as you can see today. Because it is water that brings lives. With this water, trees were able to be planted. And so the very first trees to be planted here were called the Takop tree and the Katinarong tree, also called the acacia tree. So the Takop tree was planted alongside the canals. And at sunset, grown-ups would love to come here to meditate under the cool shade of the Takop tree, as well as listen to the birds chirp and the sound of the berries falling. The Katinarong tree was the second type of tree to be planted here because of its beneficial qualities. Its roots were able to make nitrogen for the soil, and its leaves could be used to make fertilizer. Once the trees were planted here, the first house to be established was the Thai house of the Ubasika Tawin Watti Rangkun. But we'll talk about that later. Let me take you back to the temple's gate to help you understand the importance of this gate. Kun Yai wanted this gate to be the strongest structure, the one that lasted longer than any of the other structures in the temple. because several thousand years later, when all of the structures might have deteriorated or fallen down according to its natural lifespan, this gate could remain to identify the ruin, just like that of the Sanchi Saitya in India. This is the gateway towards the inner light and the inner peace of our minds. All those coming to Wat Pratamakkai wish to find peace, and the gateway to peace and happiness is right here at this gate. Because those who come to Wat Pratamakkai follow in the footsteps of the Lord Buddha on the path of enlightenment, the middle way. Originally, the temple was called Sun Puttachak Patibat Tham, but it was later changed to Wat Pratamakkai, as it is called today. The gate would be closed at 6 o'clock sharp. At 5:30, all the Upasika and the laywomen would be getting ready to leave the temple. At 6 o'clock, the door would shut so that no woman can stay in the temple. Perhaps with this iron rule laid out by Kunyai, the resident monks of Wat Pratamakkai are kept pure and get used to living the livelihood of peace and solitude, away from any attachments. Kunyai considered this gate to be as important as any other main structure of the temple. After the natural destruction of all others, she wanted this gate, bearing the name of Wat Pratamakkai, to remain as witness of the fact that Vichā Tamakkaya, or the Dhammakaya method, once existed in this land, on earth, at this period of time. Sawadee ka. Sawadee ka. Hello and welcome back on the tour of Wat Pratamakkai. My name is Vera Rungchagul, and today I'm taking you inside to help you get to know the land of Dharma, or the land where the truth of life unfolds. Over 30 years ago, this green land that you see now used to be so dry that everyone believed that it was impossible for any trees to grow here. It seemed almost hopeless for the seed of any plant to be planted here. But the Lord Buddha taught us to have hope. Bearing this teaching in mind, Kunyai, Longpo Thamachayo, and Longpo Thatajiwo put forth their every effort to turn this dry, acidic land into a green sanctuary, as you can see now. They started off first by digging a canal and finding water. And so with the canals in and around the area, this brought water. And with water came moisture. And it allowed the area to be cool. And so once water was found here, it allowed fast-growing trees to be grown. But the three founders didn't just choose any kind of plants to be planted here. They chose the Katinarong and the Takop because they were fast-growing trees that were able to be planted in unfertile soil. The Katinarong roots brought nitrogen to the soil, and its leaves were used as fertilizer for the soil. difficult tree attracted birds, which came to eat its berries. The area was beautified by the singing of the birds, the song of the wind blowing through the trees, and the sound of the falling katinarong leaves, and the coolness of the water. Little by little, the area turned into the woodland it is today. Until some even compared Wat Pratamagay to the Chetawan Mahavihan of Lord Buddha's time by transforming this plot of land from a very dry land into a woodland. The pioneers of Wat Pratamagay have reinforced the Lord Buddha's saying that there's not one place in this world where one cannot find hope. Luang Por Tamatsayo once said, "Even in the heart of the cruelest man can the seed of virtue be planted and grown." Sawadee ka. Until next time. Sawadee ka. My name is Vera Rungchagul, and we're on the tour of Wat Pratamagay in Pathum Thani, Thailand. Today, I'm taking you further inside to find the spirit of peace in the land of Lord Buddha, or the kingdom of Dharma, called Ubosot. After entering the gate, if you follow this road, you'll find a white, majestic building that uplifts your spirit and mind by its simplicity and its unique design. It is these 4 boundary stones at each corner of the Ubosot that marks the sacred land bestowed by the King of Thailand to Buddhism. Thus, it is no longer governed by the law of the country, but rather by the truth of life, called the Dharma of the Lord Buddha. The main Buddha image, representing the Lord Buddha himself, is enshrined in the Ubosot. Monks use the Ubosot for ordinations and for their prayers. Lay people also like to sit close to the building for meditation. We say that the Ubosot is a symbol of the Triple Gem and of the 4 groups of Buddhist disciples called Putta Bodhisattva, as the spirit of the Lord Buddha, the living Dharma, can be found in the prayers of the monks. On important Buddhist ceremonies, such as the ordination ceremony you can see here, relatives of those ordaining as monks and novices will join the ceremony inside. Thus, this makes the Ubosot the gathering place of the whole of Buddhism, composed of monks, novices, laymen, and laywomen. Thais consider the Ubosot a sacred place, ruled and enriched by the ultimate truth of life. Whoever comes to visit the Wat Pratamagay must first come and pay his respects to the most important figure, the Lord Buddha, here at the Ubosot. The spirit of peace lives here in the Ubosot. That is why the Ubosot is the heart of Wat Pratamagay, because this is the place where men become monks by vowing to uphold and to practice the Buddha's teachings with the ultimate goal of enlightenment. As a monk, he becomes a crucial part of the Triple Gem. These ceremonies are witnessed by the Lord Buddha himself, and so I would like for you to come and visit the Ubosot for yourself, to experience the true spirit of peace, the true spirit of Buddhism, the truth of life. Sawadee ka. Sawadee ka. Hello and welcome back. My name is Vera Rungchagul, and today you're joining me on the tour of Wat Pratamagay in Pathum Thani, Thailand. Last week, we went to see the land of Dharma, known as the Ubosot. This week, we will go and listen to the awakening voice of Dharma. Can you hear the sound of the bells? 5 years ago, this place used to be the home of the bell tower of Wat Pratamagay, whose sounds could be heard during every Buddhist ceremony, and whose white reflection in the water reflected the purity of the Dharma. Each ring of the bell served as the voice of awakening to all beings in the samsara, known as the cycle of life. So follow me, and we'll take a closer look at this important structure. Nowadays, the bell tower is no longer here, but has been replaced by this pillar of light. Honoring the late founder of Wat Pratamagay, Kunyai Maharatana Ubasika Jan Konokyung, who spent her every waking moment teaching Vichā Dhammakaya, the Dharma of the Lord Buddha, to everyone, starting off first with Longpo Thamachayo, the current abbot of this temple. Her planting of the seed of Dharma in the heart of Longpo Thamachayo soon served as the motivation for the creation of Wat Pratamagay to serve mankind in search of peace and happiness. Her method of teaching was simple but profound, based on the law of karma, or the law of cause and effect. Her deep and meaningful words reached the heart of everyone, and her tireless efforts left its mark on this world. Without her, Wat Pratamagay would not exist today. This pillar of light is lit every evening to honor the memory of this gentle but fearless lady. Next to the pillar of light, we have the Mahavihan, Kunyai Ajahn Maharatana Ubasika Jan Konokyung, a golden six-sided monument with a statue of Kunyai inside and with a green floor, symbolizing the prosperity of her teachings. So you might ask, why is this monument six-sided? Well, just as the sun's rays hit the side of the monument and spread light in all directions, so did Kunyai spread the teachings of Lord Buddha in all directions. Wouldn't you want to come and see this for yourself? Until next time. สวัสดีค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ Hello and welcome back. My name is Vera Rungchugul, and today we're on the tour of Wat Phra Thamakai in Pathum Thani, Thailand. We're here today in front of the first hall ever created in the temple, called the Jatu Maharachika Hall, named after the first realm of heaven in Buddhism. This building used to be an open-aired, multi-purpose building with a unique design, having only posts along the side, bearing the entire weight of the building, and with no posts in the middle. So you may wonder, what's the significance of not having a post in the middle? Well, there's a reason for this. Not having a post in the middle allowed everyone to see the stage clearly, and most importantly, allowed everyone to be seated in rows. So what's the importance of orderliness? Well, orderliness on the outside allows for orderliness on the inside and makes it easier to train the mind to come to a standstill when meditating. The building can accommodate up to 500 people, which 30 years ago, people thought was quite an ambitious project to build such a hall to accommodate such a large gathering. But soon after the hall was completed, people filled up and people overflowed to the outside. So then people decided to sit underneath the surrounding trees. So this marked the first milestone of success and determination of both Long Pa's and Kun Yai in the teaching and spreading of Buddhism. At that time, people who came first enjoyed the privilege of being able to sit near the teachers on stage. But those who came later preferred to sit outside under a tree of their choosing, sitting on a mat and sitting with family and friends in silence while still being able to hear and see the teachers clearly. In those days, almost all of the temple activities occurred here in this building. But most importantly, this is the place where the seed of Dharma, or the truth of life, was planted in the hearts of those who came to Wat Phra Thamakai. Every first Sunday of the month, we would see Long Pa Thamachayo conducting the ceremony of the offering of sustenance to the Lord Buddha, known in Thai as Bucha Khao Phra. This tradition started at the time of Kun Yai Thong Suk Samdang Pan of Wat Pak Nam Pasi Charan and continues until this day. After the Bucha Khao Phra ceremony, Long Pa Thamachayo would teach meditation, followed by Long Pa Thatat Jiwo, who would give Dharma talks from the Tripitaka. Could you believe that in the past, when people walked past this building and saw the stage where both Long Pa's and the area where Kun Yai would sit, they would bow and salute with loyalty and gratitude as if the teachers were still there. No one ever put anything on the stage or made it untidy. Nowadays, this building is still in use. Monks come here for their morning and evening chanting and for meditation. On Saturdays, lay people come here for long sessions of meditation in the afternoon. The memories of these beloved teachers still remain fresh in the minds of those who came to Wat Phra Thamakai at that early age. The feeling of sacredness could still be felt by newcomers who came later and who didn't see what the building was like before it was altered. And so, Jatu Maharachika Hall is another place where every memory of Wat Prathamakai, past and present, is kept alive, awaiting your visit. Sawadee ka. Until next time. สวัสดีค่ะ My name is Vera Rungchugul and you're joining me on the tour of Wat Prathamakai in Pathum Thani, Thailand. On last week's episode, we took you to the place where the seed of Dharma was planted, to the pavilion known as the Jatu Maharachika. But today, you'll be officially welcomed to the temple at the original greeting point of Wat Prathamakai. Today, we're standing right in front of the original reception center of the temple at this information area. Back then, you would be shown a slideshow presentation of the temple and be offered clean drinking water. In the past, everyone who came to Wat Prathamakai was not welcomed by any fancy welcome drinks or material gifts, but rather by the pure hearts of those at the temple, through the genuine smiles in their eyes, allowing a bond of trust to be established. But most importantly, visitors in the past were welcomed by the cleanliness of the bathrooms. The restroom was the first necessity of those traveling to the temple from far away. In the past few decades, coming to the temple was not convenient nor easy. About 20 years ago, it took a few hours to get here, traveling on this red, dusty, small unpaved road to get to this temple on the outskirts of Bangkok Metropolitan. And this is not to mention those who didn't have a car. Thus, when everyone came to this temple, they would rush to the restroom to clean up their faces and hands. In this way, Kunyai's teachings were put into practice in this unbiased way of greeting people. There's an old Thai saying that goes, if you want to know what a temple is like, look at its restrooms. If you want to know what a house is like, look at its kitchen. A clean restroom reflected a clean and wholesome temple. Those who saw the clean restrooms would get the feeling that the temple had good teachings to offer. The greeting point that people appreciated the most, of course, was the first 20 units of toilets. It was never the luxury of these toilets that was emphasized, but rather its cleanliness. People always remembered these clean toilets simply made of cement block, without tiled flooring and without a mirror. Besides the toilets, it only had washing basins and paper towels. Only the basic necessities were provided, honoring the principles of simplicity and sufficiency. People cleaned their feet with the rug provided outside because they were afraid to dirty the clean toilets inside. The restroom was absolutely dry. According to Kunyai, only the toilet bowl was allowed to be wet. But some people who did not know this liked to wash their feet inside the room. As a consequence, the temple now lays a towel in front of each toilet in order for the people to clean their feet before entering the toilet block. Also, restroom shoes are now provided inside. Kunyai taught that we must do whatever we can to make those who use the facilities after us feel as if they were the first ones to use it. In order to honor Kunyai's teachings and respect for cleanliness, visitors are asked to take off their shoes, place them in the designated areas, and use the bathroom shoes provided inside. Keeping the restroom clean is even incorporated in the training programs organized by the temple in order to help individuals be more responsible and considerate, and to help them to learn the Dharma. This clean and heartfelt greeting place manifested the consideration of those at the temple to fulfill the needs of those on their first visit to the temple. Through the cleanliness of the bathrooms, people would feel at ease and heartily welcomed. As such, the cleanliness of the bathrooms was a show of hospitality for those who came after a long and tiring journey. Everyone who came to Wat Phra Thamakai would be welcomed by the clean water, clean bathrooms, nice words, and friendly smiles. This was the principal charm of Wat Phra Thamakai that is still maintained up until this day. And you can experience this for yourself when you come to visit Wat Phra Thamakai. Hope to see you soon. สวัสดีค่ะ Sawadee. My name is Vera Rungchagul and you're on the tour of Wat Phra Thamakai in Pathum Thani, Thailand. Today, you'll get to see the true reflection of orderliness and cleanliness, the Yama building, the clean kitchen of generosity of Kunyai Maharatana Ubasikajan Konokyung. Believing that an army marched on its stomach, Kunyai, the founder of Wat Phra Thamakai, took special care of the temple's kitchen and managed and supervised all of the kitchen's operations, ranging from food preparation, catering, and the proper maintenance and organization of all kitchen tools and utensils. So follow me and we'll take a closer look inside. Under Kunyai's supervision, every corner of the kitchen was spotless and clean, and with all the kitchenware scrupulously organized and sorted. She made sure that everything was in its proper place and properly taken care of. The rules of orderliness that she laid down in the past made the temple seem fascinating and attractive. If you were fortunate enough to visit her kitchen while she was still alive, you'd be amazed to find that every single object had its place and were separated according to type and arranged according to size and seniority, with each lined up from biggest to smallest, from senior to junior, as if they were brothers and belonged to one big happy family. From her example, a culture of cleanliness, mindfulness, and discipline was born and continues until this day. When eating, everyone is encouraged to be mindful of the portion of food they have on their plate in order to not be wasteful. After eating, one might see temple goers cleaning off their plates with a recycled napkin until there's no residue left on the plates, as a way to conserve water when washing the dishes. Afterwards, they would sort out all the plates, bowls, cups, and silverware in order to make it easier when washing and in order to save time when sorting them out and putting them back to where they belong. In the past, the washing of one's dishes was a common sight due to the smaller number of visitors to the temple. It was an act which conserved water and energy. But nowadays, given the larger number of visitors to the temple, the washing of dishes is left to temple housekeepers. But visitors are still responsible for table cleanup, the pre-cleaning of dirty plates and silverware, and sorting them out to be washed. This orderliness and cleanliness is not only pleasing to the eye, but has an effect on cleaning the mind. And from a clean mind comes a broad mind. And inherent in the nature of a broad mind is generosity, which does not hate or discriminate. Since Kunyai's mind was spotlessly clean, she didn't discriminate between the people who came to the temple. She welcomed all. Her generosity is exemplified in her saying, "If there are 100, may I be able to feed 100. If there are 1,000,000, may I be able to feed 1,000,000. No matter who came to the temple, Kun Yai fed each and every one without prejudice. Those who were able to work in Kun Yai's clean and organized kitchen would be indirectly trained and disciplined in their actions. The habit of discipline created inner discipline, which helped to train and improve the quality of the mind. Kun Yai once said that the reflection that you get out of the bottom of your cooking pot reflected the quality of your life. Therefore, the good habits that Kun Yai tried to cultivate within us could be considered indirect training, so that we become more responsible for our own actions and its effects on society, as well as more responsible for the conservation of limited resources. With this, Kun Yai's clean kitchen of generosity has become a good model for the world to follow. So when you come to the temple, don't worry. You'll leave with a full stomach and a full heart. See you soon. สวัสดีค่ะ Sawadee-ka. Hello and welcome. My name is Vera Rungchagul, and you're joining me on the tour of Wat Phra Thamakai in Pathum Thani, Thailand. Last week, I took you to the clean kitchen of generosity of Kun Yai Maharatana Ubasika Jan Konokyung. On today's episode, which I'd like to call the place of great giving, we're here next door at the building called Sala Dusit. This cool and shady place was the original dining hall for monks, and also the place where Long Pa and Kun Yai would teach Dhamma to the public. Also, it was used as a small reception area where the abbot, vice abbot, elder monks, and Kun Yai would receive guests, because Kun Yai saw the need for a place where visitors could talk to monks, and in keeping with her strict rule that monks mustn't receive guests in their own residence. Long Pa Thamachayo, the abbot of Wat Phra Thamakai, had once envisioned that after Jatu Maharachika was built, more and more people would come to the temple until they overflowed the building, and that eventually all roads would meet at Wat Phra Thamakai, signifying that more and more people would come to find the happiness of the Dharma of the Lord Buddha here at this temple. Sure enough, within 10 years, the number of meditators who came to the temple reached tens of thousands, and the original temple grounds of approximately 80 acres were not enough to accommodate all. Therefore, the temple grounds expanded by 1,000 acres through the Dhammakaya Foundation, and this allowed for the creation of a bigger building to serve a bigger congregation. In April of 1985, construction started on the thatched Dhammakaya Hall, known commonly as the Sapachak, and whose complete design and construction took only 50 days total. Totaling about 14,000 square meters and accommodating up to 12,000 people, the thatched Dhammakaya Hall was constructed as a temporary building that could be moved and relocated without damage to the structure, due to the fact that the ceiling was made from a metal framework that could be taken apart, and the fact that the floor was made from cement blocks that could be removed. Also, the thatched roof saved money and allowed air to flow inside, thus preventing the need for air conditioning. This building replaced the Jatu Maharachika building as the center for important Buddhist ceremonies and as the all-purpose building where Dharma was taught every Sunday and where group training sessions teaching Dharma for everyday life were held. This building, considered huge for its day, was used from the years 1985 to 1996 until the place seemed too small to accommodate for the tens of thousands who came over the course of those years. Thus, this necessitated the creation of a larger building, the Great Dhammakaya Hall, that is now used as the assembly place for hundreds of thousands coming to this temple. But we'll cover that later on. As for now, we'll be going to see the Kunyai Ajahn Dining Hall, so follow me there. Kunyai had a grand vision and wish to build a dining area and kitchen where monks would not have to worry about food and going on alms rounds, and so that they can devote their time to the study of the Dharma and on meditation. As a result, the Kunyai Ajahn Dining Hall was born. This grand dining hall is now the place where alms are offered and can accommodate up to 6,000 monks and novices who sit on elevated wooden platforms inside. Attached to this hall is the food preparation and assembly room, where thousands of meals are prepared and arranged to be offered to the resident monks and novices. This place is also where the lay people receive the monks' blessings daily. Giving is the heart of Buddhism. Kunyai wanted everyone to have a better tomorrow through the giving of today. Those who give with pure hearts to the ones who purify their minds, speech, and actions will soon receive the highest benefits from their contributions. The door of opportunity is now open to you. Until next time, Sawadee ka. Sawadee ka. My name is Vera Rungchagul, and you're on the tour of the temple. Today, I'll be taking you to two places of great importance on the route of the great teacher of Vichā Dhammakai. Right here, I'm at Wat Bot Bon Bang Khu Vieng in the province of Nonthaburi, Thailand. Evidence has shown that 500 years after the passing away of the Lord Buddha, the Vichā Dhammakai of the Holy One disappeared from this world. In the year 2460 of the Buddhist era, or 1917 AD, and on the full moon night of the 10th lunar month at this temple, a determined young monk named Sot Jantasaro, later known as Luang Por Wat Pak Nam Phasi Jareun, sat down at this very spot and prepared to lay down his life in meditation. In front of this Buddha shrine, he made a solemn vow, begging for the Lord Buddha to bestow to him the knowledge known by the Holy One, if that knowledge was going to be of benefit to Buddhism. Late that very night, he succeeded in his attainment of Vichā Dhammakai. Vichā Dhammakai brings happiness to all through the knowing of the truth of life, which goes beyond all beliefs and nationalities. People who sincerely practice Vichā Dhammakai will feel the unsurpassable feeling of happiness through the stillness of the mind. Practitioners have expressed their gratitude to Luang Por Wat Pak Nam by casting his image in pure gold, which will be enshrined in 4 different places, this temple included, on the route of the great teacher of Vichā Dhammakai, but that will be shown in a later program. we've come back to Wat Prathamakai, where this Panya room is the temporary home for one of the golden sculptures of the great abbot of Wat Paknam, who I mentioned earlier. This statue is cast in solid gold, weighs 1 ton, and is 1.5 times larger than the actual size of the late abbot. The temple community decided to commemorate his great life of selflessness, sacrifice, and wisdom in a manner befitting his contribution to humankind by using pure gold. Each day, hundreds of lay people come here to pay homage to Lung Pa Wat Paknam and sit in meditation in this serene room inspired by his grace. People appreciate the feeling of peace and tranquility that they get in this room, and therefore, before entering the room, they turn off their cell phones and any noise-making devices and try not to bring in any materials that might disturb other meditators, such as plastic bags that might ruffle and make noise. Also, they don't take photographs. The quietness of this room allows meditators to meditate and recharge their batteries before going out on their daily routine. The last spot on today's tour of the temple is the Memorial Hall of Lung Pa Wat Paknam Pasi Jaren Sot Jantasaro, the rediscoverer of Wichatamakay. This structure behind me, currently under construction, will be the final place where the 1-ton golden statue of the great abbot of Wat Paknam will be enshrined permanently. This building is also designated a museum that will display everything about the Dhammakaya meditation tradition. The hall will soon be open to the public. Surrounding this dome-like structure are lines of pine trees and a mini lake, bringing coolness and shade. Also, the hall is decorated all around by one-of-a-kind sculptures of symbols depicted in heaven. The discovery and teaching of Wichatamakay that Lung Pa Wat Paknam pioneered was thus of incomparable importance to this world, as it is the final path and refuge for all peoples who work and search for peace on earth. Until next time, Sawadee ka. สวัสดีค่ะ My name is Vera Rungtrugul and you're joining me on the tour of the temple at Wat Prathamakai in Pathum Thani, Thailand. Today, I'll be taking you to the gathering place of living truth for true happiness. Right from the start of the creation of Wat Prathamakai, the pioneers intended to create a haven for Dharma practice as a refuge of peace to a tormented world. Exemplary practices of that small group of devotees inspired the faith of an increasingly large number of people. To keep up with the growth of the congregation, the Jatu Maharajika Hall was built, accommodating up to 500 people. But within 10 years, as the numbers grew to tens of thousands, the Sapajak or Thatched Dhammakaya Hall was built, accommodating up to 12,000 people. But as the visitors grew to the hundreds of thousands, this necessitated the creation of an even larger meditation hall to accommodate everyone. Right next to me is the Great Dhammakaya Hall, a multi-purpose facility built from 1996 to 2000, and that still remains unfinished. This massive structure is a 2-story building that, when completed, will be the largest building of its kind created in this world. The enormity of this project is truly amazing, and when finished, this structure will cover an area of over 40 acres. This hall is used for important ceremonies, meditation practice, and Dharma training. It offers a venue large enough to accommodate 300,000 people and is used on Sundays and Buddhist holidays. Here is where you'll find Longpa Tamachayo, the abbot of the temple, leading meditation sessions on Sundays. On regular days, you might wonder why such a large structure is created. But you'll find, however, that on Sundays and Buddhist holidays, this structure that seemed so big might actually seem small. The rear is covered by a gigantic mosquito net, probably the world's largest, where the abbot conducts his Dharma teaching every evening. His Dharma teachings are aired every day throughout the world via the DMC International Satellite Broadcasting Network. In the present day, the congregation at Wat Phra Thamakai continues to grow with no signs of let. The gathering of hundreds of thousands of peace lovers from all over the world sends a positive message that world peace is within our reach. But if only individuals first find peace within themselves. You're welcome to this great Dhammakaya Hall to experience this for yourself. See you soon. Sawadee ka. Sawadee ka. My name is Vera Rungtragul, and we've come to the final point in our tour at Wat Phra Thamakai in Pathum Thani, Thailand, the Maha Dhammakaya Saitya. The Saitya combining Buddhism of the past and present to make the one and only living stupa of 1 million Buddhas seated on the wheel of Dharma. A Saitya, commonly known as a pagoda, is a sacred shrine in Buddhism since ancient times, where worshippers and visitors who come to visit and pay homage to the Saitya will be spiritually lifted to a high and pure inner place. The Maha Dhammakaya Saitya is the Buddhist shrine for moral and ethical teaching for all peoples in the world. This Saitya was established through the cooperation and devotion of peace lovers in Thailand and across the world, with the ultimate goal of creating world peace. Construction started in the year 1995 and is still in the works. The symbolic design of the Maha Dhammakaya Saitya exemplifies the inseparable unity of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, the three of which make up the triple gem, the ultimate refuge of mankind. The first section of the Saitya is a hemispherical dome marking the peak of the Saitya and 108 meters in diameter. This is in homage to the first of the triple gem, the Buddha. Inside is the principal statue of the Dhammakaya in 14 tons of silver, together with the relics of the Lord Buddha. On the outside of the dome are 300,000 Buddha statues, with 700,000 more on the inside, totaling 1 million Dhammakaya Buddha statues. Those benefactors who contributed donations for their own Dhammakaya Buddha statue will have their names inscribed on the front of the statue. As construction is still not yet complete, anyone wishing to make a contribution and dedicate their own Dhammakaya Buddha statue is more than welcome to do so. The second section of the Saitya is the broad peripheral terraces that are in homage to the second of the triple gem, the Dhamma, which brings limitless peace and happiness to the peoples of the world. The teachings of the Lord Buddha will be inscribed in this section of the Satya. The third section of the Satya is the broad expanse of land up to the boundary edge of the Satya that is in homage to the third of the Triple Gem, the Sangha. This area is designated a sanctuary for monks and novices where they sit to practice meditation during important ceremonies. The Mahadhammakaya Satya is the center point for important ceremonies such as Makhabucha, in which hundreds of thousands of candles are lit in homage to the Triple Gem. During these ceremonies, you'll see hundreds of thousands of peace lovers sitting peacefully in neat rows, meditating, making resolutions, and spreading loving kindness to cultivate the inner peace and merit fundamental to world peace. This Grand Satya is the center meeting point for Buddhists and all peace lovers around the world to come together as one with the common goal of creating inner peace and happiness, and through that, world peace, through the performing of good deeds and meditation. As a way of starting and ending their day, people gather here every morning and evening with lotuses to pay homage to the Satya, which is the embodiment of the Triple Gem. In reality, the design of the Satya has a deeper meaning than what we've explained here, but whoever comes to see the Satya sure won't forget it. We extend to you our warmest welcome to come and see the Mahadhammakaya Satya for yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of Wat Phra Thamakai. I hope to see you here soon. Sawadee ka.